Ready to embark on a journey into the captivating world of orchids? Whether you're a seasoned plant enthusiast or a novice gardener, this beginner's guide to orchid care will equip you with the knowledge and skills needed to nurture these exquisite plants to perfection. Join us as we delve into the fascinating realm of orchids and discover the secrets to successful orchid cultivation. Some species of this flower can even live for more than 100 years. With approximately 25,000 officially registered species, the orchid is the most diverse flower in the world. It doesn't matter whether the weather is very hot or very cold, orchids grow everywhere in the world. This flower does not have ordinary roots and bulbs. Instead, it has rhizomes. The orchid is the national flower of Colombia, and the majority of the world's orchids can also be found in South America. History. The word orchid is derived from the Greek word orchis. This flower was named by an ancient Greek botanist. According to ancient Greek beliefs, this flower was associated with the fertility of men. They believed that a man and a woman could determine the gender of their child through this flower. They believed that if a father ate a large orchid, the child would be a boy, and if a mother ate a weak orchid, their child would be a girl. Orchid care. Watering. Generally, orchids should be watered once a week in winter and twice a week when the weather is hot and dry. The size of your orchid pot helps determine its water needs regardless of the climate. Typically, a larger pot retains more moisture in the soil compared to a smaller one. Light. Orchids thrive in bright light, but direct sunlight can burn them. Indirect bright light from an east or south-facing window is ideal. The color of the leaves indicates the light level. Bright green leaves indicate a happy and healthy plant. Placement. The orchid pot should not be placed in overly dark or directly sunlit areas. The best location is near south or east-facing windows, which receive better light compared to other windows. If the orchid's leaves are light green, it means the light conditions are suitable. If they are dark green, it means the light in the environment is low. And if the leaves are yellow or brown, it means there is too much light. Planting method. You can grow orchids both in your garden and in pots at home. When planting orchids in pots, always choose a large pot. The roots of this plant need plenty of air around them. For watering, like most plants, allow the soil to dry out before watering, then water it. Lastly, ensure proper soil drainage. Soil and nutrition. Orchids require well-draining soil and good air permeability. You can use specialized orchid soil or a mixture of loamy soil, perlite, and charcoal. Additionally, for orchid nutrition, use low-concentration orchid fertilizer with appropriate timing. Toxicity. Fortunately, orchids are not toxic and pose no danger to pets. However, it's advisable to keep them out of reach of children. Orchid uses. Due to its delightful fragrance, orchids are highly popular. Therefore, this beautiful flower is extensively used in the perfume industry. It's interesting to note that vanilla, the same sweet essence used in confectionery, owes its origin to the orchid. Vanilla is extracted from a specific type of orchid flower called vanilla orchid. Orchid propagation. Stem propagation. In order to propagate orchids through stem cuttings, there are two different methods that can be employed, which we'll explore below. First method, caring for orchids, is very easy, and this beautiful flower falls into the category of plants resistant to light and requiring minimal watering. When all the conditions for maintenance are ideal, orchids produce small plants on their stems and at the node, the area where the leaf connects to the stem, which are called kiki in English, and these small shoots are used for orchid propagation. The best time to separate these small plantlets is during the spring season and after the flowering season has ended. For propagating orchids using this method, you can proceed as follows. When the small plantlet has 2 to 3 leaves and its roots are 5-7.5 centimeters long, separate it from the mother plant using a sharp tool, such as a knife or gardening shears. For planting small orchid plants, you can use a potting mix similar to what is used for mature plants. The best mixture for this plant includes lightweight and moisture-absorbing materials such as perlite, coarse uncrushed mineral grit, along with plant residue or peat moss or coco coir, plus a small amount of charcoal and some sand. The optimal temperature range for keeping orchid pots is between 20 to 30 degrees Celsius during the day and 15.5-18 degrees Celsius at night. Remember that orchids prefer humidity, which is why they are placed on the list of suitable plants for terrariums. Therefore, mist them every day, using lukewarm water for this purpose. Be patient, as it may take about 6 months for new roots to grow, so wait patiently. Sometimes it takes a long time for the plantlets to form along the stem of the plant. In this case, you can stimulate the formation of plantlets by removing the leaf sheath that is on the node. After 6 to 8 weeks, you will see the formation of plantlets attached to the stem of the mother plant. Method 2. In this method, you don't have to wait for the plantlet to grow, and having a healthy orchid stem is enough. To begin, select a part of the orchid stem that has a node. Consider 2 centimeters above and 2 centimeters below the node, and using a sharp tool, separate it from the main plant. Place the separated part in a moist environment, inside a mixture of peat moss coco coir silica particles, which retain water and moisture. The light needed for root formation is similar to that of a regular plant. Cover the plant and the planting medium with transparent plastic to create greenhouse-like conditions, stimulating the roots to grow faster. Continuous moisture in the planting medium and the presence of appropriate temperature and light similar to the conditions for a regular plant will lead to root formation and leaf growth from this node. Ultimately, a plantlet similar to the previous state will be formed, and you can plant it in a pot. Propagation of orchids by division. This method is unique and is used for propagating orchids such as Cattleya and other multi-stemmed and sympodial orchids by dividing the plant from the base of the mother plant. This operation is performed on plants that have 6 or more pseudobulbs. The cutting point of the rhizome is between the 3rd and 4th pseudobulb, and both parts are planted separately in pots. Since most Cattleyas produce only 1 leaf per year, rhizome division in most of these plants is done once every 3 years. Planting orchid seeds. The best time for planting orchid seeds is early to mid-spring. When planting orchid seeds, you must be patient and ensure that the environment, as mentioned, is sterile. This method of orchid propagation through seeds is challenging and feasible only in a greenhouse. Ensure that your hands and the environment where you sow the seeds are sterile. For this method, scatter several seeds onto the soil in each pot and use environmentally friendly fertilizers if necessary. When the orchid plant has grown a bit and formed leaves, remove it from the pot and trim any dead or rotten roots. Before placing the roots in the pot, divide them if necessary. Gently add potting mix and cover the roots with soil. Orchid disease. Identifying the causes of pests and diseases. 1. Wrinkling of orchid leaves, caused by watering issues and low humidity. 2. Dropping of orchid leaves, resulting from sudden environmental changes and temperature fluctuations. 3. Rotting of orchid leaves, due to overwatering and the presence of crown rot disease. 4. Drying of orchid leaves, caused by underwatering. 5. Drying of orchid flower buds, resulting from chemical contact, excessive light, low humidity, and high temperatures. 6. Yellowing of orchid flower buds, caused by fertilization during flowering. 7. Drying of aerial orchid roots, resulting from underwatering. 8. Drying of orchid stems due to insufficient water, humidity, light, and nutrients. 9. Wilting of orchid flowers resulting from irregular watering and unstable environmental conditions. Home remedies for orchid disease. 1. Neem oil, effective against pests and fungal infections. Dilute neem oil in water and apply to affected areas. 2. Cinnamon powder has antifungal properties. Sprinkle cinnamon powder on affected areas. 3. Hydrogen peroxide helps control root rot and fungal infections. Mix hydrogen peroxide with water and use it for watering. 4. Adjust watering and fertilization to address physiological disorders such as yellowing leaves. 5. Isolate infected orchids to prevent the spread of disease. All kinds of orchids. Phalaenopsis moth orchid. Dendrobium. Cattleya. Oncidium. Vanda. Miltoniopsis pansy orchid. Brassia spider orchid. Epidendrum. Laelia. Encyclia. Congratulations! You've completed orchid care and are well equipped to embark on your orchid growing journey with confidence. Remember, growing orchids is a rewarding and fulfilling experience that requires patience, dedication, and a little bit of love. With the knowledge gained from this guide, you'll be well on your way to cultivating thriving orchids that will dazzle and delight for years to come. Happy growing!